welcome. Namaste, everyone, for today's webinar on the ABCs of Ayurveda. And Ayurveda for diet, and body, and mind. So if you haven't yet put in the chat, please do. Where you're zooming in from, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Girdalal, Girdarilalji, welcome. Thank you for joining. And of course, our special guest, Vaidya Rupali Panse. We'll get started shortly with today's webinar. But we're going to talk about how in the contemporary era, concern for disease prevention is often neglected in favor of medicine and treatment, right? Diet and food, when viewed through the lens of Ayurveda, become central to preventing and managing health conditions. Ayurveda enables a personalized approach to the management and restoration of health. And so Dr. Rupali Panse will talk about this in broad terms. She has a little presentation. So let me give her an introduction. Dr. Rupali Panse actually completed her BAMS in 2001. She has a certificate in child counseling that she earned in 2014 from Pune University. But she has over 20 years experience in clinical Ayurveda, Panchakarma, and Ayurvedic nutrition. She practices as an integrative nutrition, wellness, and lifestyle consultant in Orlando. She is the vice president of the AAF, Ayurveda Association of Florida. She's been on panels, she's published, she's part of the integrative dietetics and Ayurveda nutrition at Savitribai Pune University in India. And we're glad at Hindu University of America to have her teaching courses on nutrition and Ayurveda and continuing to develop and offer new things that people like yourselves are interested in. So thank you for joining today's webinar from wherever you are. Bharat from Brampton, glad to have you on representing Canada. Vaidyaji, Rupaliji, glad to have you on as well. So with that, let me hand it to you to get us started and help us with the ABCs of Ayurveda.
Thank you so much, Ankurji, for such a warm introduction. Namaste, everyone. First of all of you, very Shubha Navratri. Navratri ki bahut shubhakamnaएं. And maybe we can start today's webinar with a nice small prayer of Devi, since it is Navratri, an auspicious day. So may I request all of you to fold your hands. You can close your eyes. Sit relaxed but straight. Om Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Welcome everyone, and today we are going to talk about Ayurveda diet. As Ankurji very well mentioned that, the times are changing. People are taking nutrition very seriously. And it's not like before that, if you are having any health conditions, if you are not feeling good, then only medicine will work for you, right? Usually, whenever you visit your family physician in past, for your headache or fever or diarrhea or anything, they will just prescribe you any medicines, tablets, syrups for 3 days, 5 days, a week course maybe, right? And that's all. But the time is changing. Nutritional therapy area is evolving a lot, and people are more keen, rather, physicians are more becoming keen towards integrating nutrition as a part of treatment protocol, which is a very important thing, I guess, because we all are aware of adverse drug reaction with our body. We know the limitations of medicines itself, and most importantly, nutrition field has been evolving, not more than 60 years, I may say. Right before that, it was era of development of antibiotic, era of development of antivirals, or infectious diseases were concentrate a lot. But today, the whole scene has changed, and we are not worried about infectious diseases anymore because we have strong antibiotics, antiviral, antipyretic, antimicrobial, NSAIDs, painkillers, etc. But what we are scared right now, or to what, overall the population, and, what is the significant burden on health sector nowadays, is of chronic diseases or inflammatory diseases or non-communicable diseases is a very nice word for that. The diseases which are not, they are not communicable. They cannot be transferred from one person to another, or they cannot be infectious, but your own body is creating those diseases. And that is really a scary picture. And that's why I guess nutritional therapy is very important in today's era, because nutritional therapy not only talk about health condition or not only give you solutions for your health condition, but basically nutritional therapy is important to prevent disorders or to improve your immunity in such a way that your resistance power will remain good, and you will yourself prevent the diseases. Now we are talking about nutritional therapy and nutrition science, which is not even older than 60 to 70 years. Now let's talk about Ayurveda. So the whole base of Ayurveda, or the whole soul of Ayurveda, is ahara. There is a very wonderful shloka in Mahabharata. There are multiple shlokas, hundreds of shloka in Ayurveda, but let's talk about Mahabharata, because Mahabharata is a Mahakavya, a great literature, great, yeah, documented era for us. So in Mahabharata, it is said that Sarva Bhutani Annani Jayate Mahipati. That means the start and end of living organism, every living organism is food. It starts with food and it ends with food. So food has that much capacity either to nourish your body or to take you to the path of destruction. Um, I guess that signifies the importance of ahara. Ahara is a Sanskrit word for food or meal, diet or nutrition. Uh, so ABC of diet. What is ABC? So ABC is, we can say that these are three pillars of Ayurveda dietetics theories, and we will separate it. Ayurveda says that ahara, nidra, brahmacharya, tristambhaha. So these are three pillars of your health, of your happiness as a human being. Not only physical health and physical happiness, but also mental health and mental happiness. And second pillar is ahara, which is a very important pillar. Nutrition and diet is very important pillar. And today I'm going to talk about some important do's and don'ts, or, diet etiquettes. Diet etiquettes will be the very nice word, because we know food is important. We know protein is good. We know fried items are bad. But are there any specific rules that are written in Ayurveda or any other script other than food properties? Because not only food properties are important, but how you are consuming that food, who is consuming that food, how that particular food is going to be digested in your body, whether the nutrients will be absorbed, whether they will be properly accommodated in your body is also very important. And yeah, I was mentioning that modern nutrition is 60 years old, but Ayurveda nutrition is almost 5,000 years old. And Ayurveda has given lots of importance and dedicated lots of pages to nutrition and diet. And any Ayurveda practitioner's base will be definitely Ayurveda nutrition. So whenever you visit to any Ayurveda physician for consultation, they will take a nice assessment of your body and mind. They will ask lots of questions about food habits, which type of food you eat, what is your digestion pattern, how are your bowel habits, how is your appetite, and there will be a whole list of questions about your nutritional assessment, right? So they call it as nutrition focused physical assessment nowadays, but Ayurveda call it as Prakruti Parikshan. So let's introduce you to the first important part of ABC of Ayurveda diet, which is Prakruti. Everybody is different. Everybody is unique. Every individual, apart from some similar features, being human being, they have their own unique uh, genetic print everywhere, right? Iris is different, fingerprints are different, the DNAs are, genetic patterns are different, hobbies are different, thinking patterns are different. So there are similarities as human being, as a generalized population. At the same time, there are many unique perspective of human body and mind present. That is known as Prakriti in Ayurveda. The literal translation of the word Prakriti is nature. So your internal environment, every human being is carrying, or every being has its own nature inside the body. Ayurveda identifies this concept Prakriti. Now let's talk about some modern perspective about Prakriti. Because yes, people are interested in Ayurveda, and people are researching a lot of thing about Ayurveda, dietetics theory, Ayurveda theories, etc. And Prakriti is among a very complex theory, at the same time, a very simple theory which can be applied into Ayurveda management through diet or medicines. So, Prakriti is nothing but every person is born with a genetic phenotype, or genotype, I may say. So, a child, when born, carries some hereditary traits from mother and father, and it becomes its own genetic nature, right? So innate prakriti, we can say. And as the child grows, he listens to the people around him. He either comes into contact with the cold environment or warm environment or humid environment. So geographical differences, food habits, upbringing, exposure to some environmental factors. So all these are going to shape up that person's developmental prakriti. So innate prakriti is followed by nurtured prakriti. So there are three types of prakriti: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, because we have three physiological entities that are governing all the metabolic functions in the human body. So according to this Vata, Pitta, and Kapha prakriti, diet is different for these people. That doesn't mean they will totally eat the different food, but if we are talking about a group of 10 people who are having assorted Vata, Pitta, and Kapha Prakriti, and if we are serving them the same food, their body will react, or their body will behave that with the same food differently, because every trait has its own type of appetite, has its own type of digestion time, absorption method, and reaction of that particular Prakriti body to that particular food. So, this is a very important concept Ayurveda identifies for every person. Whether it is disease management or diet planning, we consider Prakriti very important, and we plan diet accordingly. So, as we talk about Prakriti, I would like to introduce that, in Ayurveda Essential course, which is offered by HUA and which will be starting from 14th of October, we are going to talk and discuss and learn about all these concepts in depth, and how you can actually use this very simple and beautiful, unique concept in your day-to-day life. Okay. So, if we know our own Prakriti, if I am Pitta Prakriti, that to simplify, we are going to learn about Prakriti, but since we are in webinar of only 60 minutes, so I'll just give you some examples how the Prakriti differs from each other. So if we are talking about Pitta Prakriti, Pitta means fire, Pitta means stage, Pitta means fast transformation. So Pitta people are having very high appetite. At the same time, they are very prone to getting inflammatory processes in their body. So you must have observed that if somebody is, enjoying some dessert and heavy lunch, in a group of five people, three people will be okay with that lunch and that dessert, heavy dessert, but one or two people will not tolerate that particular kind of diet, and they will get, oh, I'm getting hyperacidity, I'm feeling very acidic, I'm having a very pungent burps, or my abdomen is bloated, and such complaints will come from those people. The same way, kapha will be very less inflammatory responses to certain foods, but kapha metabolism is very slow. So they will eat only two chapatis and they will be full, and they will take a longer time for digestion, elimination, etc. So overall, their metabolic type is very slow. On the other hand, Vata is very fast. Vata is very irregular. So Vata appetite will be sometimes very good, sometimes very mild and weak. Sometimes they will be able to digest food very good, and sometimes they will complain, "Oh, I cannot digest just this simple dal rice also," because Vata is consistent. So it's a really very nice concept of Prakriti, and I think everyone should be aware of their own Prakriti. So in this course, we will be providing some good, nice, elaborate forms to feel about your own observations about your body, mind. And it is so interesting that it is the Prakriti that decides your skin texture, that decides your hair color, hair texture, length of hair, color of eyes, distribution of a fat or adipose tissue in particular areas, whether that fat will be deposited around the waist or around the thighs or lower abdomen. It is Prakriti who is going to decide. You can straight away blame to your Prakriti if you are not losing your weight, or if you can thank your Prakriti if you are losing weight very easily, because Vata people can lose their weight very easily. On the other hand, Kapha people cannot lose their weight very easily, or it's really difficult for them to shed their weight. And that's why obesity is more towards the Kapha type of people. And you will hardly see obese people in Vata Prakriti. And so not only phenotype, genotype, but the nature, reactions, and if we know, it's like horoscope of your health. So, and we are very good at assessing your, Prakriti horoscope, and experienced Vaidya can even predict what kind of diseases this particular person can have in future just by looking at your Prakriti or just by assessing the nature of your Prakriti. So this Prakriti concept is very important, and you have to eat according to your Prakriti is the first basic rule of Ayurveda. You know? Second very nice thing in Ayurveda, rather, we talk about balanced diet. We talk about diet which is rich in nutrient. So does Ayurveda have any stand about balanced diet? Absolutely. Ayurveda just offer you one simple shloka, and that one simple shloka can be taught in 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 sessions together, and still it remains, uh, we definitely find something new every time when we discuss about that shloka. So that shloka is very simple, which says that sarva rasa satmyam arogya karanam sreshtham. So the Sanskrit shloka translation is Sarva Rasa Satmyam. Sarva means all, Rasa means taste, Satmya means habitual. So if you are habitual to all taste, that is the best habit you can follow or you can keep to for your sound health. So what is Sarva Rasa Satmyam? What is Rasa? What is taste? So yeah, taste is definitely what you are thinking is the same. There are 6 tastes mentioned in Ayurveda. Rather, we know 6 tastes, which is sweet, salty, bitter, pungent, sour, and astringent, right? So, are really tastes that important? I mean, what does taste signifies basically? If you are very much aware of this theory, 6 taste theory in Ayurveda, you can just describe the properties of food by tasting, by just knowing that the taste of that food. For example, astringent food. Astringent food is very mucus drying food. Astringent food can contract the vessels, contract the muscles. The same way, salty taste is very mucus releasing taste. Salty taste can overall um, extract mucus and increase the mucus secretions in your body. Sour taste is very healthy for heart. Sour taste can um, uh, immediately boost your mood. So this theory is also very important, 6 taste theory. And if you are very aware of all these taste, um, you will find that this taste theory is nothing but a very elaborate theory about macronutrients, micronutrients, and phytochemicals. For example, let's talk about sweet taste. Now, sweet taste, if I say sweet taste, what first thing comes in your mind? You can type in the chat box. So what do you think about sweet taste? So what are the sweet taste food? You can start typing, no worries. fruit. Okay, laddu. Mm-hmm. Anyone? Pastries, very nice. Honey, stevia, perfect. Juice. So mostly when we talk about sweet taste, the first thing comes into our mind is sugar, right? But what if I say that no, sweet taste is not always sugar? According to Ayurveda, food which is converted into sugar, the final product of that food, if it is sugar molecule or if it is something energy production, then it is called as sweet taste or madhura rasa. So, what are the food items that are able to produce the energy? Can anybody give me input? Which food ultimately produce the energy? So basically macronutrients. So carbohydrate, protein, and fat. These are the three macronutrients which Ayurveda described as Madhura Rasatmak food. So Madhura is not sugar, Madhura is not sweet. By Madhura taste or by sweet taste, I mean, so deep knowledge at that time. There were, I mean, cell physiology and cell metabolism was not invented at that time, but they have their own different language to describe cell metabolism. And finally, they say that okay, any food atom that is able to convert itself into some kind of ATP or energy, that is sugar molecule. I mean, that is sweet taste. That is Madhura Rasa. So, Madhura Rasatmak food is pasta, grains, pulses, fat, cow ghee is Madhura Rasatmak. Milk is sweet taste. Animal meat is also sweet taste because ultimately it is going to convert into the energy. So basically, Madhura Rasa signifies the macronutrients, right? So when we say that six taste balance nutrition, so what do Ayurveda means? Ayurveda means balanced macro and micronutrients. Let us see how that. So while describing the six taste, the sequence is also very important. They have described the six taste sequence. Madhura, Amla, Lavana, Katu, Tikta, Kashaya. Madhura means sweet, Amla means sour, Madhura Amla, Lavana means salty, Katu means pungent, Tikta means bitter, and astringent is Kashaya. So why this particular sequence? This particular sequence signifies the amount of food that should be on your plate. So Madhura is first. So carbohydrates, proteins, and fats should be the major amount of your meal. That is macronutrients. And then comes sour. Pickle is very in little quantity on your plate, or curd should be very little in quantity on your plate. And astringent taste, amla, turmeric pickle, etc. Or if you are eating salads, that should be compared to macronutrients, it should be less in the quantity. And the last is astringent. So that means you have to consume astringent taste very less. So that's the whole point behind this theory. And while learning this six taste theory, we are going to learn which kind of diseases are possible due to the addiction to specific taste, because few people love salty taste. Few people are really very inclined towards the Madhura Rasa. That means either they are consuming sugar molecules more, or they are consuming carbohydrates more, or they are trying to do any diet, particular keto diet, etc., and they are inclined toward more fat or more protein, etc. And how that can impact your health. We are going to learn about all these things while learning the six test theory. Correct. Yeah, someone has given the correct answer. Food that has carbohydrate, fat, and protein. Perfect. So this is a very important theory. Third, we are going to learn about Viruddhahara. Viruddhahara is food incompatibility or incompatible food combinations. So trust me, cooking is a science. Cooking is at the same time art also. So that's why they called as culinary art or culinary science, right? So every food has its own nature, every food has its own chemical properties. So when you are cooking food together, you have to be very careful. You can't just um, singularly identify food properties and okay, milk is good, okay, cottage cheese is good, okay, this protein powder is good, these vegetables are very healthy. So you cannot combine them together, right? It will be somewhat unaesthetic and illogical to combine any food with any food. So this is a very nice concept in Ayurveda, Viruddhahara, and in fact, almost all the chronic disorders, almost all the inflammatory disorders, almost all non-communicable disorders are the output of Viruddhahara or the output of incorrect food consumption that you are following years together. Non-communicable disease will not happen in one day or 1 week or 1 month. The pathology, the etiology is taking process in your body for many months or many years, and then suddenly it will flare up. Suddenly you will having allergic reaction. Suddenly you will be having any skin patches. Suddenly asthma attack. Suddenly you will find out that my triglycerides levels are flared up. My A1C is definitely not in limits, or I'm having atherosclerosis, or I'm having arthritis, or for teenager girls, PCOD is so common nowadays. So somewhere the root reasons are hidden into your incompatible diet combinations. It's not only about mixing the food. The theory is very comprehensive. The theory has very elaborate description of diet etiquettes. It's not about only mixing milk and fruits together, because many people are aware of this particular combination that Ayurveda uh, instructs everyone to keep away and mix milk and fruit together, right? But it's not about only combination, it's about quantity, it's about your prakriti, it's about compatibility with the traditional food items or modern or fusion food items. It's about food processing, ultra processed food, packaged food, ready to eat food. It's about genetically modified food. It's about your own Agni, because if you are not consuming appropriately, which is aligned with your Agni, then also it is incompatible food. For example, if I'm not feeling well today, my Agni is low, my body is not ready to digest the food, and still I'm munching on something, or still I'm trying to have my regular diet, then it becomes Viruddhahara for me. Then my Agni will be low. Then toxins will be created, and these toxins are not going to eliminated from your body. They will deposit in your fat tissue, they will deposit in your muscle tissue, and they will stay there for many years together. And when these toxins, which is called as ama in Ayurveda, when they get added up one on one, the pile, the wall is building, and every time you do one mistake of nutrition, a very small break of your immunity wall is taken down. Always remember. So we many times my clients or my patients, they give me explanation. Oh, I eat in once in a while. This too I eat once in a while. So this and this and this, almost 10 to 12 items you are doing or you are eating once in a while. So that's a huge contribution in pathology for a disease, right? So it's a very interesting theory, and we're going to discuss a lot about Viruddhara while learning Ayurveda Essential Nutrition. And almost in every batch, people love this concept. People tell me that, oh, we were not aware of this particular theory. We know about it, but this theory has such a overall depth that I never thought that I am doing these mistakes in my diet or lifestyle, etc. So eating compatible food is the third rule of Ayurveda. So avoid Viruddhahara and eat compatible. Third thing or fourth, I don't remember now the sequence. So Triguna is a very important concept in Ayurveda diet. Every food has capacity to shape up your body and also to shape up your mind. Always remember that Ayurveda says Annamaya Kosha. Annamaya Kosha is your physical body, which is dependent on the food, right? So if you are not going to consume food over the period, your physical body will be depleted. Your physical body will be on the path of destruction. But what about mind? How somebody thinks about positive thing and why somebody is always negative in negative mode. Have you ever thought about that? Not only external factors are responsible for that, but also what type of food you are eating. It's also very important, because food do not only nourish your body, but food also nourishes your mind. Okay, so we are going to talk about three guna and how to identify three gunas in the diet and foods, sattva, raja, tama. What type of food is sattvic, what type of food is rajasic, and what type of food is tamas. So always everybody knows that, oh, animal meat is tamas. But we we play a little game in the course every time that, I say that, okay, I'm a magician. Give me anything and I can turn it into sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. So everyone says, "Oh, how can we do that? Cow milk is sattvic. How can you turn into tamasic, or how you can turn into rajasic?" So that's the beauty of Ayurveda theory. So if you consume cow milk as it is very sattvic. But if you are storing cow milk for the long period, or you are adding some essence, you are adding some fruit into it, you are adding some doodh masala into it, then it becomes little bit rajasic. It will get the pitta increasing nature. So it becomes rajasic because we are indulging, we are enjoying that taste, we are enjoying the sight of that beautiful dessert that is prepared out of milk. So it becomes rajasic. It nourishes our rajas nature. And if I am, converting into a very ultra processed output or ultra processed food, or I'm storing that dessert for 3 4 days in the refrigerator, then it becomes tamoguna. Then it will make my mind, make my body a little bit lazy. Then it will stay in my stomach for the longer period. Then it may weaken my agni or weaken my appetite. So it becomes tamasic. So yes, definitely every food has its own sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic nature, but how you treat that food, how you process that food, how you cook that food is also very important. So we do lots of experimental talks in this particular theory. And I also say that, take an example of I mean, not goat meat or chicken. So if you are consuming, steaming it, boiling it, nice culinary spices, nice herbs you are adding it, of course, the tamas nature will be there, right? Because animal meat is tamas in nature. But the way you are cooking it, you are eating it fresh, you are eating it in less quantity, then the tamoguna will be at the baseline. But if you are frying the meat, just like in cheeseburger or etc., fried meat, fried patties, or you are adding lots of gravies and masalas into that, then it becomes rajasic. And if you are frozen, preserved jerkies are the beef jerky, etc. They are the very nice example. That is the particularly tamas food because it doesn't have any nutrition. It doesn't have any prana. Very beautiful word. The food should have prana in it. Fresh apple, sattvic, because it does have prana, it does have that energy to nourish your body and mind. But if I cut that apple, if I soak it into vinegar, if I canned that apple, then it becomes pitta increasing or rajasic guna. And if I'm sun dried that apple, I'm dehydrating that apple, I'm making apple chips from that, it becomes tamas. So trust me, these Ayurvedic theories are very unique. They are very interesting, and they will teach you. They will, make you enable to look at the food to a total different perspective. So this Triguna theory is very important, and yeah, sattvic food, rajasic food, tamasic foods have their own capacities to create vyadhis in the body or diseases in the body. So we will talk about that. How to keep your diet more sattvic without compromising the nutritional components in that. Then comes mitahara. What a beautiful word, mitahara. So that is the simplest explanation to all types of nutritional questions. What should I eat? What should I avoid? What should I, how should I maintain food diary? Oh, you don't have to do anything if you learn the concept of mitahara. What is mitahara? Mitahara is a ahara in properties, in quantity, and in cooking process, which is favorable for your body. That's it. But how to identify mitahara? So we will talk about that mitahara concept also. So mitahara is nothing but, imagine that your stomach has imaginary four parts. So divide your stomach into imaginary four parts, and you are allowed to eat only three parts of um, meal, and one part should always be empty. And among that three part also, first part or one part should be dedicated to the heavy food or sweet food. Okay. Second part should be dedicated to the kind of macronutrients, and third part should be dedicated to the liquid that you are consuming during the meal. So water, buttermilk, etc. Water and buttermilk is only allowed. Juice and any cold drinks are also not allowed. Trust me, Ayurveda says only water is allowed while yeah, eating the meal. Even buttermilk should be consumed after the meal, not during the meal. So, but why to keep the fourth part empty? Can anybody give me input? Because many people are aware of that. I just want to know. Why should we keep one part empty and only eat three parts? Okay, digestion. Yeah, it is related to digestion for sure. So basically, what happens when you eat the food, the digestive juice are getting, yes, Kaushiji, gas also, yes. Leave some space for digestive process. Absolutely, Bob. Yeah, yeah. So the very logical and scientific reason behind that, where if you eat the food, it will get mixed into gastric juices, mostly hydrochloric acid. So acidic level will be there, and this acidic level will form frothy food, right? So all this food is becoming churned and it will increase in the volume, it will become little bit liquid, and it will try to raise because of the acidity, right? So when these processes are going on, there are natural gases which are released, and if there is no place for these gases, then abdominal distension will be there. Abdomen will be stretched unnecessarily, and it may give you heaviness in the stomach, chest pain, or um, symptoms like that. So that's why you have to keep one space for the increased volume of that food and released gases during the digestion. One more very important reason is there. Your abdomen stretching will decide uh, the tolerance level of your appetite. If you have a habit to eat very nice mitahara or less quantity food, your brain and gut has continuous conversation between them, and they will communicate with each other that okay, when stomach distends this much, this person stops eating. So the signals will be sent to your stomach, and the secretion of leptin and ghrelin enzymes will be stopped. Okay, and then a gut will send the signal that okay, I don't have ghrelin, so okay, I don't want food. But what happens if you are eating and you are not paying attention to the fullness of your stomach? The stomach will be stretched and stretched and stretched, and every time it will be stretched more, then it will send signal to the brain. Okay, this is my latest updated stretching level. You remember it, okay? And so it becomes physiological level. So that's why Ayurveda or any logical science says that whenever you are consuming the food, you should be concentrated on your plate. You should not be having fights, discussion, serious discussion, or watching TV or in front of laptop or mobile. Because when you are busy, your stomach will get distended, but your brain will be cooperating with you into your intellectual activities. For example, if you are watching anything, so your brain will be busy over there and it will not pay attention to the stomach distension. So these are the scientific reasons behind this specific wise advice of ancient Ayurveda. And there are so many other things we will learn in this course, but this is also one of that. Mitahara. So we'll learn about Mitahara, what type of diet is called Mitahara, how to prepare some Mitahara recipes, how to prepare some Pathya recipes. Now, Pathya is also a very unique theory in Ayurveda. Pathya diet is the diet which you should eat during your health conditions or during the diseases. So definitely your body needs something different when you are not feeling well, or when you are uh, having some disorders. Then this Ayurveda essential nutrition, we have dedicated a separate chapter on Pathya diet, and we'll talk about various diseases, digestive disorders, rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes, hypertension, and so many skin disorders, and what should be the Pathya diet, etc. So yeah, these are 5, 6 theories. And we'll also talk about conscious nutrition and, you know, uh, unwanted extra nutrition, because trust me, malnutrition, if it is iceberg, then unnecessarily unnecessary excessive nutrition is just the tip of iceberg, because we are most of the times consuming more than necessary. We are just adding up calories, we are just adding up food, but that food is without nutrients. So we talk about santarpana and apatarpana, very beautiful theories in Ayurveda. Apatarpana is degenerative disorders or diseases that can be caused during because of malnourishment or because of imbalanced nutritional conditions in your body. And we'll talk about Santarpana. Santarpana is the condition where your body is getting excessive nutrition, which is not favorable. Every time nutritious doesn't mean healthy. So how these Santarpana habits can turn into diabetes, can turn into obesity, can turn into PCOD, skin disorders, etc. So we'll try to learn or to identify which are Santarpana Vedis, which are Apatarpana Vedis, and where you need to do good nutrition and where you need fasting, detoxification, etc. So we'll also talk about Langana, fasting, and detoxification in short in this course. So while learning the ABCs of diet, one thing you should not neglect, or one we cannot end today's session without mentioning, which is Agni. Agni is the most unique concept in Ayurveda, and it's not just digestive fire, it's not just your appetite, it's more than that. Because most of the time, people think that Agni means Jathar Agni means my appetite. So no, Agni has presence in your every cell. It is not only present in your Jataragni. Yes, it is present in your Jatar or stomach or gut, but it is also present in every cell. Mitochondria. Mitochondria is the smallest form of Agni in your body. So wherever there is energy transformation, wherever there are metabolic transformation processes going on, one thing is converted into other thing. So there has to be presence of Agni. So we can say that metabolic intelligence is equal to Agni. So we'll talk about various Agni, what type of Agni Kapha people have, what type of Agni Pitta people usually have, and how I should understand my Agni, whether I have balanced Agni, whether I have fierce Agni, or whether I have weak Agni, and how I should incorporate various spices, herbs, and food habits that can bring my Agni to the balance level, or that will not deteriorate the Agni more. So we'll talk about that. And in short, Agni is enzymes, Agnis are neurotransmitters also, and Agnis are hormones also. So we need hormones for transformation, we need neurotransmitter for transformation, and we also need various enzymes for transformation. So all these physiological activities or metabolic activities are dependent on your Agni. And if your Agni is good, your everything is good. Your metabolism is good. Your mind is good. Your tissue growth is good. Your quality of tissues are good. But if your Agni is weak, because Agni is the basic unit of transformation in your body, so less energy production, less nutrient absorption, less nutrient, accommodation in your body. There will be hormonal imbalances. There will be neurotransmitter related disorders, or there will be enzymatic disorders. So it doesn't mean that if you have imbalanced Agni, you will be having digestive disorders only. But if you have Agni related disorders, they can reflect into more chronic and NCDs or non communicable diseases. So we'll talk about that, how to identify the Agni, how to identify the various disorders which are related to Agni, and what food favors the Agni. So I think I should give you some time to ask me questions because I can talk a lot. So it's almost 9:44, and I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, you want to share any experience, please go ahead.
Yes, yes. Let me drop details of the course in the chat. So it's going to be on Mondays at this time, starting October 14th. What a good overview, and the way that you went from one to the next and incorporated examples that I think people are familiar with. And like you said, out of the 5 people that you're having dinner with, 2 are this way, 3 are that way. And I think it was very interesting. And if you want a deeper dive, please do consider this course. I think we have a few previous students who may want to make a testimonial. I say Vijay Kane of Houston, Friends of HUA. Glad to have you with us. Let me promote you to a panelist and get you up here. And then any other questions you have, please put in the Q&A box. I don't see any open questions right now. And if you didn't put in the chat where you're zooming in from, please do, and I can give you a quick shout out. Let's see, is Vijay joining as a panelist? All right. And I don't know if there are other previous students. And again, questions, please put in the chat. If you enroll in this course, you get into our Hindu University of America learning management system. You get your @hua.edu email address. All of the readings, information, recordings of courses is available and accessible. So with that, let me hand it to Vijay Kaneji from Houston, a student, an HUA supporter. Glad to have you on with us today, Vijayji.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Super, so thanks. I always forget to unmute. Namaste, Rupali ji.
Namaste,
Namaste,
Vijay ji. How are
Ankur ji.
you doing?
I hope you remember me.
Of course, of course. How are you
from,
doing?
from last year. So I had mentioned to Ankur ji that I wanted to give a testimonial since I have taken this course, Ayurveda Essential Nutrition. I missed out the next one because I had some travel going on there. So for all those that are listening, I just wanted to give a testimonial about how fantastic this course is. And if you are kind of getting your feet wet with Ayurveda or getting your tipping your toes into Ayurveda, I said this is kind of the backbone of understanding Ayurveda. And I have already started implementing a lot of the ideas that I saw in the course. And your book, Food Guru, is so fantastic. And I've already started to talk to a whole bunch of people that I know that can use this. I'm going to encourage a lot of those people to take this course. And if they are not able to take the course, I'm going to try to see if I can bring that information and knowledge to them. That way it can make a difference in their lives. With a lot of people are having a lot of chronic conditions. They've had them for years and decades, and somehow none of them are ever satisfied with the allopathy doctors that they visit, because in America, the whole thing here is all pharma-centric. That's a term that I have coined, that you go to the doctor with some issue, and they're always looking through the menu of pharmaceuticals that they can prescribe to you. And here in this course, you'll hear some potential solutions that people might be able to reduce the dosage of medications that they are taking, and perhaps even eliminate them over a period of time, even for people that have had chronic issues for years and years. So I learned a lot from that course. I've taken a couple of other courses in Ayurveda, and I enjoyed this one the most. And again, with the acquisition of California College of Ayurveda, and I had a chat with Mahadevanji, and we are hoping to start some more activity related to Ayurveda here in the Houston area. And who knows, we might have you over to the Houston area, Rupali ji, and we can do some mini
Cool. I'm
workshops.
looking forward, Ryan. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
it.
I think
I'm
I'm
pretty
really
excited.
excited about the possibilities that could come from this. And so for any of you folks that are listening, I highly recommend you take this course. I think you will thoroughly enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Vijayji, for giving that testimonial. Let me launch a quick poll. Let us know if you're interested in enrolling in the course. And then we have some other retreats coming up. We've had Ayurveda retreats in the past. These are Sanskrit and Nakshatra retreat coming up. And of course, Rupaliji in that area is going to continue to do Ayurveda retreats when we can. Another question from Krupakarji: Ayurveda food for seasonal allergies. So people have different sets of allergies, maybe just a broader kind of perspective from Ayurveda on allergies and what's setting people off. And again, things have changed in this modern context. What we eat, what people are allergic to, the reactions they're having, where it's coming from. So, Rupaliji, definitely curious on your thoughts on this.
That's a very important question. Rather, we will be talking about allergy also in this course because allergies are very closely associated with the Agni and the type of Prakriti you are having. Because again, Prakriti is very important to decide what type or which diseases you are susceptible or at high risk. So, when you improve the Agni, when you modify your food and diet and some lifestyle habits, definitely you will see very positive changes in your allergic reactions or the severity of allergy. So allergies and food are important. Many times we blame only food for the allergic reactions, but many times it's not food. It's how your body is reacting to that food. So if you modify some metabolic issues in your body, you enhance your Agni, you improve your overall dhatu health or tissue health, then you will be definitely getting very positive results in the allergies. To just add a very simple thing, nowadays food scientists, nutrition scientists, or allergy doctors, they are very keen on introducing allergy-prone food in very small amount at a very early childhood. So they say that peanut allergies are very common, but if you start introducing peanuts from childhood in a very balanced and restricted manner, your body will be accustomed with that particular kind of protein, and your Agni will be learning to deal with that protein. So it is a concept of from Ayurveda, trust me, and the theory is called as Oka Satmya. Satmya is sensitivity or Satmya is adaptability. And if you tame your body, if you train, not tame, sorry, if you train your body to deal with this allergy prone food or allergy prone other particles, then the allergic reactions will not be there, but they will be very in mild form. So that's a very beautiful and important question. But yes, food and allergy, we are going to talk a lot about in this course.
Nice. Ravi Chilakamari from Los Angeles is asking, with the information we get through the course, will we be able to evaluate and examine our dietary habits and possibly modify our lifestyle for the better? I think that's exactly what Vijayji said is happening. And if
Please.
Rupaliji, you want to elaborate on the tools you provide and how you help people on this pathway, and how the other question is this course offered every quarter, or is this part of a bigger or how often do you offer it in other courses you offer? So how does this fit into that whole lifestyle change and application?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, definitely that is the main aim of this course, Ankurji and all of you, that we don't want to learn only theories, but we will be learning the practical aspect into your day-to-day practice. You will see that, as Vijayji very nicely mentioned. I think Vijayji was used to talk about his smoothies and other eating habits like banana, and if I remember it correctly, Vijayji. So yes, we talked about students' personal habits and how they can modify not only theirs, but their families, friends, relatives also. So yes, you will be able to incorporate those theories in the practice, day-to-day practice. And this course is offered not every quarter because I'm also taking some Ayurveda advanced nutrition, fasting and detoxification course. So it will be offered after every 2 quarters, this essential Ayurveda course.
Every other quarter it'll be offered as kind of
Yeah,
a
other
way for people
courses
to
will
get
be
in.
offered.
Beautiful. Great. I think that's perfect. Um,
Can I make one more point here?
yeah, go ahead, Vijayji.
So towards the end of the course, Rupaliji gives this assignment where everybody is supposed to submit a recipe based on everything that we have learned there. And so for the last few years, my wife and I put together this recipe for oatmeal. And so I said, let me submit that one because I wanted to see if it fits with the concepts of Viruddhahar and combinations of foods and so on and so forth. And I am so happy to say that there was only one alteration she suggested, is not to put banana with that. And that is probably because if you're cooking it with milk, and then milk products and fruits are Viruddhahar. Is that right, Rupaliji? Yeah.
Correct.
But if you're probably
Yes,
not
I
using,
remember.
right. And so that was a interesting thing. So now I can say I have a oatmeal recipe that has the blessings of Rupaliji.
Okay.
Thanks.
Subhashini ji is asking, can a person's prakriti change with age or change as we age?
That's a good question. That's a good question because I mentioned about innate prakriti, which comes with your genetic sets from parent. So physiological prakriti will not be changed, but as you age, for example, whether the child is Kapha, Pitta, or Vata prakriti, there has to be physiological dominance of Kapha in the childhood. That's why, childhood is filled with cold, mucus, cough, etc. And as you grow up and become young, Pitta dominates a lot. So whether you are Pitta Prakriti, Kapha Prakriti, or Vata Prakriti, there will be physiological dominance of Pitta, but your innate Prakriti will be same as your genetic Prakriti. The same way, when you age, your Vata will be increased a lot physiologically. So if you are a Vata person, you will be having Vata problems a lot. Right? If you are a Pitta person or Kapha person, you will be having Vata diseases little bit lesser compared to the Vata person. So that's a good question. Who asked that? Subhashini ji. So Prakriti doesn't change, but the distribution of doshas definitely change according to age. And we also talk about, not in this course, but in Ayurveda advanced course, but we briefly talk about various life stages and how you can align your prakriti with the dosha changes according to age.
Yeah. So please put them in the Q&A box, but I also see a lot of questions popping up in the chat box. Rupali ji, is there one in particular you want to take next?
Sure. So course curriculum including learning concepts of Ashtanga Hridaya. I'm so glad to hear somebody knows here about Ashtanga Hridaya. It is one of my favorite granthas in the Ayurveda. So all these Viruddhahara, Sattva, Triguna, these concepts are definitely described in Ashtanga Hridaya also, along with the Charak, Shushrut, etc. So we will be touching, but not all the concepts from Ashtanga Hridaya, but concepts related to diet and nutrition will be definitely covered.
Right. Bob is asking, Bob Dobbin, thank you for joining us. Does this course teach recipes and cooking techniques? Sounds like there's an assignment where you specifically get into that. Or is it simply Ayurvedic framework concerning appropriate nutrition for the different styles of people? So answer that question.
That is also a necessary question because you have to apply all this theory finally into your kitchen, right? So yes, we talk about recipes, we talk about patha recipes. I give you lots of links to watch the videos of recipes and a few recipes I have prepared on my own. So I provide you the videos in the lecture and we talk about that. And the reference book for this course is Food Guru, which is written by me, and it has more than 130 recipes, Ayurveda recipes that you can use into your day-to-day cooking. We also talk about cooking techniques which are Ayurveda specific and how you can modify your cooking techniques to bring the goodness or to bring the Ayurveda theories in your daily cooking.
Only a few of you have filled out the poll. Please let us know if you're interested in the course or not. Either way, please let us know if you're interested in the course or the upcoming retreats. There's a poll open. If you don't see it, hit the minimize, maximize button. Thank you for joining us on a Monday evening for this webinar on Ayurveda Essential Nutrition. We'll take a few more questions and then we'll get into our closing wind up as there's just a few questions left and we're at the top of the hour. Sharad Andekar is asking specifically about how honey is astringent and tirdosh nashak. And can you comment on with reference to diabetes? So in your course, you get into the details of specifics with individuals. So I guess we don't have too many questions. So if you want to take that one here, you can kind of address that as well.
Yeah, sure. Yes, honey is supposed to be Tridosh Nashak. Mostly it is Kapha Nashak, and it does have astringent taste. So I think your question is about eating the honey, or can you please comment on this with reference to diabetes? Yeah. In diabetes, along with the medicine, honey is used as catalyst because it acts as catalyst. It helps to absorb the medicine very well, and it is also kapha reducing, so it is good for diabetes, but it should be organic, it should not be adulterated, and it should be in moderate amount. And there are some do's and don'ts about honey, like you cannot heat the honey, you cannot cook with honey. So you can add it into the warm water, but you should not add into the boiling water, or you should not heat it. So why should we should not heat it, and what happens, what chemicals are produced, and how they are accommodated, or how they get accumulated in the body, that we are going to talk in the Viruddhahara chapter.
So there's this one person saying that they take this Ayurvedic powder mix at an empty stomach, and then they take metformin after 2 hours. So it's popular now, right? People label Ayurveda. There's so many different products and things that are in the marketplace. So maybe that's what is good. What do you recommend, and how do people know what is actually going to help them and not as I say, that's why we're having this course, right? This is why Hindu University of America is bringing medical doctors, vaidyas who are trained like Dr. Rupali Panse, and then having this course to share and spread this knowledge. So maybe at that higher level, if you want to talk about that, and we can wind up shortly.
Sure, what he's mentioning is definitely drug interaction may happen, because Ayurveda kadhas decoction, they are nothing but they are very powerful nutrients, they are very powerful nutraceuticals, right? So they can definitely interact with the drug, so it should be consumed with the proper consultation of Ayurveda doctor, I would say.
So if you have if you have other specific concerns, if you're already taking Ayurveda courses or enrolled in a program, then we can talk and see how this supplements or complements what you're already in. So this is again amazing. I'm so glad Hindu University of America has really taken a lead in this field of Ayurveda, and Dr. Panse, with you teaching courses and being involved. I think it's so obvious how this field of taking Ayurveda, Indic knowledge, Hindu knowledge, ancient Bharatiya knowledge systems, it's wisdom that's been passed down for millennia, addressing a serious concern that we all know in modern context, especially in America, the health system, in a way that is beneficial to the people, to patients, and then the way that it can actually have results in outcomes, right? In health outcomes, in cost outcomes, and so many other ways that this is a field where we are going to take the lead. We're offering these courses. I'm glad and proud that we're doing this. And that's kind of my last pitch. Please do take this course, Ayurveda Essential Nutrition. And then I'll give it to Dr. Panse for Rupali ji for closing statements. And Vijay ji, thank you for being on. Appreciate your testimonial. I'll see you at the next webinar or the next event in Houston, and we'll continue to work. So the ecosystem we're building, it's happening, and it's so good to see it in progress. So Rupaliji, with that, let me hand it to you for closing comments, statements.
Yeah, sure, Ankurji. Yeah, you mentioned it very well. The outcomes of medicine, diet, etc. Polypharmacy, as Vijayji mentioned, is a very kind of notorious issue nowadays, that people are taking more than 5, 6 medicines at a time. So I think Ayurveda nutrition will be a very apt solution for that, to avoid medication to deal with the adverse effect of medication. So yeah, thank you for being here, everyone. If you have any questions, definitely contact us, and we will try to help you for that. And I'm looking forward meeting you into the classroom for Ayurveda Essential Nutrition. Thank you so much, Ankurji.
Somebody is asking where they can get the book Food Guru.
Oh,
Are you going
yes.
to leave an email for Rupali ji there?
Sure,
or-
sure, sure,
Yeah.
sure. I'll put down my email. It's very simple. My first name dot my last name at gmail.com. So you can just mail me and just let me know your address and how many copies you want. I'll send you the details.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you so much. Dhanyawad.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.